sponsored by Shenanigan Sports Pub.
Hold the Mayo. It's time for Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. Find out what's being served with Mike, Beefo, and Lubie, the only show that covers food, sports, and the proper maintenance of your car. And now, a man who had the distinction of having an entire health clinic named in his honor, Mike Mayo.
I want the flim flam sauce with the awesome fave, with shafafa on the side.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another week, another edition of the Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. Today, coming to you live from Shenanigan's Sports Pub in Dania Beach. It's my local. It's
yeah,
close
I'm jealous,
to my
actually.
home.
Well, I'm actually, my old local was Landlubber, so that's a pretty solid local. Now I don't. Well, now being in Northern Coral Springs, I don't really have a local pub / gastropub, so I'm jealous that this is yours. Like, it's pretty cool that this is your local around the corner. This freaking amazing bar / gastropub / great experience every time you come out here.
Yeah, and it's, again, if you're going to have a local, a place where you can kind of watch games all day and night and eat and drink, it's also good to be in stumbling distance of one's home. I mean, I could, depend on a friend or get an Uber or a Lyft, but this literally is walking distance from Casa de Mayo. And we're here set up this time for the first time on the barbecue side of Shenanigans. What a lot of people don't realize is there is another full dining room. There's the main bar, sports bar area where there's just a million TVs. And then on this side where you get the heady waft of smoked meats and chicken and all kinds of good things. You also have a lot of TVs, and it's kind of a little bit more family friendly on this side.
Like over here,
Lubie.
Less bar.
Yeah, less bar, more eating, and we've
More
already been
food.
surrounded by food.
Yeah, they knocked us.
We're awaiting with bated breath the arrival of one Patrick Utter, the proprietor and Dolphin superfan, who is very giddy. We didn't know, Lubie, if we were going to even have this show, because it was all dependent on. You hate having a show depend on the fate of the Dolphins,
Especially the Dolphins of any team.
Lo and behold, what happened yesterday? It was like an early Christmas gift for Dolphin fans, right?
Yes, it was nice to see the Dolphins. Look, I literally minutes before the game, because the injury report came out, and it was literally the entire team. I'm like, oh, that's a good injury report. I proclaimed their season was over.
I'm going to scooch over.
Yeah. And I'm going to move this. After the break, we'll get a little bit out of this.
I don't even know. We're trying to center it.
Well, the
trying to get the
lights
Christmas
exploding
tree
me out of the way. It just got very bright. So minutes before the game, I was like, well, the Dolphins are now going to lose the next 4 games, including versus Jets. They're going to be 9-8, and Mike McDaniel will be on the hot seat heading into next year. Lo and behold, the Dolphins went 30-0, and now they're back in the number 1 seed race. So there you go, the mind of a South Florida fan. But one person that should be very happy today is Mr. Patrick Utter, who has been behind this team pretty much the entire year.
We'll get more granular on the game when Patrick arrives. I know he's a little bit busy because he's got a huge holiday party, like private party, that's taken over the main bar area dining room where we are usually located. And again, we are located at 1300 South Federal Highway in Dania Beach. Really easy to get to. It's the one and only now. He used to obviously have another location that was the original that was in business 30 years. Unfortunately, events transpired that brought that one to a close at the end of last year. But tell you what, Pat Utter is having the last laugh because that location is still sitting empty and foul.
Oh, really?
So,
that's so weird when owners of buildings,
when landlords get greedy.
I don't get that. Like,
I guess maybe it's a tax write-off, but I don't want to even get into that. Pat is happier because it turned out to simplify his life.
There was a lot of work for him.
When you have 2 and you have to run back and forth and manage 2 staffs, and that's double the headaches. Now it just has this one, and I love this location. I think it opened up in 2008. He bought this property. It was actually 2 different things. It was, number one, a Pizza Hut on the other side, where the main body, that's why you kind of see that very distinct roof. And then on this side, it was a barbecue joint known as Charlie's, Texas barbecue, and also was very well known for its brisket. It was good stuff. But he's now combined it, and he built this beautiful thatched tiki hut area in between, which is open air. And I see Pat Utter strutting in now fashionably late. He's going to check on the private party, which is going on. And I'm just going to kind of ramble a little bit until he gets here.
Well,
but
no, okay.
does,
So you had a and we'll get to it after Pat more, but it actually gives me, because we both had eventful weekends. I actually did stuff this weekend, which is rare for me. Friday night, my wife's been in the holiday spirit, so she's making us do, and I use the term making us, I'm being honest, she's making us, because she wants to do it, and I'd rather be home watching football, doing holiday things every weekend.
Well, that's
so
that's the time.
It's fine. I enjoy it once we're out, but I'm tired.
I'm doing holiday things too, like drinking a double Jack and Coke on a weekday. Because
so we went out to. She wanted to do a holiday bar crawl, and we went to Tin Roof.
Okay.
In downtown Fort Lauderdale. In that area, and they had a Christmas pop-up, they call it, where they turn one of the rooms into like a Christmas area. So that was fun. We went to this place called Salt 7, and they had holiday drinks.
That's was down cool. On the New River.
Now, I was going to ask you about that place actually, because the food was very Mayo-y. I was joking because it was a little bit higher level, but the food did look nice. We didn't eat, we just had drinks, but it looked nice.
Okay.
And I didn't even know that area existed. Like, that area was really freaking cool. It was really nice.
Developed in the last whatever.
It feels like Miami.
Years.
It feels a lot more Miami than
high-rise condos, fashionable restaurants and bars.
And they went to a place called the Wilder right next to the Catherine, and that place was a really great vibe. Like, they turned into sort of a club, I guess, at night.
They have really good craft cocktails.
The drinks were great.
Yeah, and at one point they had a really talented chef working there. I don't exactly know what's going on with but they usually have a menu of some like light bites, but some really kind of interesting food too. Did you eat anything there at the Wild?
We didn't eat there. We just did drinks wherever we were and had some appetizers at Tin Roof. But it was definitely good. It was a fun night. It was a good experience. And it reminds me that we do live in Fort Lauderdale. Like, I forget because we live out in the suburbs that we're not far from like the city. Like, it is a city. And it's grown so much. Like,
I get a little claustrophobic downtown now because there's all these high rises and you get that canyon effect where, it's no daylight and there's all these cranes and more buildings going up. But, there's a lot of life down there on Los Olas. I was down there last night. I'll get into that in a minute. But so the Wilder is right next to the Catherine, where we taped an episode that's going to be airing next week. Next week, we're going to actually take some holiday time off. We're going to get some episodes in the can and then air them for the first time next week. One of them with Tim and Baloo and his wife Marissa at the Catherine. That was a lot of fun because after that, he had his staff fully.
So how did that work?
So
how did you pull that off? That was actually very impressive.
He wasn't going to stay. Like, he had his crew like a well-oiled machine, and he says, "I'm not going to be around here to mess up anything in the kitchen tonight." So it's actually a family night. He does a lot of that, which I think is admirable. He's got 2 young girls, and actually one's a junior in high school, and the other one is a grade schooler, and adorable family. And they were looking for something to do. I said, "Hey, why don't you come on out?" My buddy Tom T is cooking up some of that good Cajun New Orleans, Louisiana cuisine at Riverside South Market, which Timon had never heard of the Riverside South Market. He hadn't been there. I explained to him about how they have the honor system where you just pull beers out of the fridge and you just kind of keep your empty bottles next to you, and then they tally it up at the end of the night. That was the hallmark of the original Riverside Market, which is across from the pizza spot. This one is a little bit closer to the airport, has a kitchen. Tom T has been setting up shop there now Thursday, Friday, Saturday. This was on Friday, a little bit of a rainy night. We went in there. There was nobody in there, but then it started filling up. And Tom had some beautiful oysters and he did the grilled oysters. But Timon showed up with his family, and they
So how does he eat?
Tom
when you're a chef,
when you're a chef,
does he get to enjoy it, or does he like grade it? Like,
oh, no. He's with the family, and he was really enjoying it because when he I love that. Sometimes you can tell if people are just being polite, but he dug into he does that the gumbo yaya, he calls it, with the chicken and andouille sausage, and then he had like a fried seafood platter that was a special. Ooh. And then he did he sent out a whole bunch of raw oysters and grilled oysters. Nice. And then he basically sent out they ordered it also, and chef like me would like to order everything and taste everything, and the red beans and rice, and you could tell there was genuine joy on Timon's face. And his daughters were digging into those fried. They had like some fried shrimp. And the barbecue shrimp,
barbecue shrimp.
Barbecue shrimp is a New Orleans thing.
Yeah. They had
a
place out east that does it. That's really Calypso, I think.
Yeah, really it's nice. Basically not barbecued at all.
No.
It's just in a Worcestershire and butter sauce.
Yeah, but it's great.
But here, Tom T has had to label it garlic shrimp because people don't understand it. But anyway, when Timon dug into that, again, I've seen such joy, except for when I eat something like that. Meanwhile, we welcome to the show. It was neat getting food people together.
Yeah, that's what I like.
That.
I love it.
And Timon really enjoyed it. His family enjoyed it. Had a good time. And that was just Friday night. I'm eating like I'm going to the chair. We welcome
time of year.
Yeah.
Time of year.
How are you, my friend?
Good. Good to see you guys. Good to see you.
Sir.
Actually, this is a nice setup with the Christmas tree in the background.
Yeah, we got the tree. A little bit of hot lighting because of the glare. It's too sunny of a day. We need the rain back. I'm sorry to say that, but you don't because that was
actually, we were packed because people had nothing to do except come and eat, drink, have fun. Paul, yeah, it was one of those weekends. But I want to.
Did you go to the game yesterday?
I did go to the game.
How was
I actually
that
stayed to the very end of the game.
Well,
I think Bradley Chubb was out to redeem himself with that ridiculous slamming the helmet down. So he played big, and of course, I have to say this Waddle. I'll tell you something. Both my sons had the opportunity to meet him. He couldn't have been nicer. He signed jerseys for them. That Hard Knocks portrayal every year kind of focuses on guys that you wouldn't know. I'm a big fan of Van Ginkel, number 43, and Barrios and stuff. So there's some great role players. The team's coming together. We're going to find out what they're all made of, right? We got big games here. We got the Ravens. We got the Cowboys. How could we not have a better Christmas Eve than the Cowboys at 425 versus the Dolphins? And they're both kind of similar. You don't know who's going to show up, right? Do you?
No, but that's the story across the whole league. It's not like the Dolphins are alone in looking like, my God, how can they blow that game and then look so dominant the next? But everybody's done that this year, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you've had the Eagles blew a game to the Jets, right? You've had
the Chiefs had 32 drops. Okay, did you see it against the Eagles? I mean, this poor Mahomes. I don't want to sing Hill's praise too much, even though he's probably, since Randy Moss, the best wideout I've ever seen. He could go both sides of the field too, and he's just he's an elite receiver anyway, and that took a lot, that franchise a lot, and in the fact that these other guys are dropping. There's the only people that look to me that I have to say the Ravens in San Francisco. Yeah. I watched the Ravens last night. That guy get out of trouble and throw a 65-yard pass.
Exactly.
I mean, that was incredible.
Even they've struggled.
Yeah.
But even they've had their moments, and also, the Eagles, you thought they were the dominant team, and they laid an egg against Dallas, and then you think Dallas is dominant, and they laid an egg against Buffalo.
The quarterback.
He's sick. He's like physically ill.
Yeah, he's not well. So it can happen. Injuries are a big part of this game.
Yeah, and again, at this point, and I guess it's the same thing as like freaking presidential politics or politics in general. Everybody focuses on polls and who's number one right now.
Yeah.
What's good? But the only thing that counts is the playoffs. Like these teams are positioning themselves for the playoffs. You can't make heads or tails with a Power Five. I mean, like everybody is topsy turvy.
Power rankings.
All I know is this. I loved what I saw from the Dolphins yesterday because it dispelled that whole notion that this was going to be the same old Dolphins.
Look, they shot you and I last week.
December. But wait,
go for it.
But is and the positive is every time they've lost this year, they've come back with a win. They're 4-0 after losses. And that's great.
That's nice.
Yep. Maybe that was that falling apart thing for the defense. Maybe that was
a rally. Sometimes it's a wake-up call. Okay. But the same knock is still there. They have not beaten a good team. And they've beaten all the teams they're supposed to beat except when they blew a 14-point lead against the Titans. Okay, so basically they've done everything they're supposed to do, but they still haven't impressed anybody in terms of, but now this is it. You get your chance.
Yeah. Let's talk about a wild card going back to 2007. My son wanted to talk because someone made reference last night we were watching the Raven game and how the New York Giants, how they marched through Tampa, the Cowboys, Green Bay Packers, on the road, all road team. They were 10-6 going into the playoffs. They got hot, and the incredible catch on the helmet, 12.5 point down. It could have been the greatest team ever assembled by Belichick. That's why we're all excited about this. That's why we watch. Everybody's got a gambler's Troy said.
But now everybody's got a betting app too, so we really are all gamblers.
Yeah. Speaking of that, and they don't need a plug, the Hard Rock is on fire, my friends.
Yeah.
They are just like, they're turning the South Florida market into a world-class destination with gambling and entertainment out extraordinaire. I mean, just a trickle-down effect for me here at Shenanigans, being a locals. No, we have an elf in the house. You got to get over here and get on this webcam here. The girls are dressing appropriately here at Shenanigans. We have Jaden, which is back there. Kennedy, but we have some beautiful ladies that are here at Shenanigans where locals go, and we're fortunate to have you guys. And Jaden has really, really taken Shenanigans to the next level, and I mean that in a nice way, with just service and just making everybody feel at home. And I love you being part of our team. I really mean that. You really are wonderful. I'm lucky to and I'm grateful to be here, and like you made reference to politics.
For you, my friend.
Well, thank you. I spend a lot of time reiterating a negative thing. I'm in at 11 minutes, and my water is that. I know everybody feels entitled, but let's just no. I'm not making. Look, there's everybody who's
I do it too. I hate relationship with all those knuckleheads.
Listen. Not two people were like me going to culinary school in 1974.
Right.
Okay, so
back when it was like a trade.
It was not a trade. It was like, I'm so sorry. Roofing was taken care of. We were. They say we all love the football players and the football team, but I got to tell you something. There's guys working with shovels, guys working on the roof, and people in these kitchens that we have to keep a little thing in mind is that we're basically everybody's trying to do the best they can. That's all.
You guys do a great
job. We try. I'm not going to say we're anything other than the fact that we're a destination for local people that want a good time.
No, and every time somebody asks for a place near the airport that's open late for when some people, visitors come out of town and they land at 10 o'clock at night, and where can we go and get a good bite to eat?
Let's cut right
here.
No, Shenanigans is Dania Hollywood's dirty little secret. Let's keep it to ourselves.
Well, it's not dirty.
When I say dirty little secret, I mean it's just that place that
hidden little gem.
that it's a place that people don't really know unless they are locals. And it's been like that for 31 years. So
Can I give a quick rundown of the food?
Sure, go ahead. Mama's meatloaf. I can't believe you guys have already had it and you're back for more.
Of course, it's great.
Here's the thing. I come in today to Lubie, and I say two things. Like, I've been eating ridiculously, and you didn't know this, Pat. I didn't share it with you, but I had talked about it Friday. My mom's been in the hospital with COVID for over a year.
Oh,
over a week.
A year. That's impressive.
It's felt like a year.
No, I know.
I've been sleeping next to her side
We're
every
both in
night.
the same thing.
She's over right here at Memorial. They have such a but I don't want to be in the reclining chair. I'm doing a little bit of sleep deprivation. But it's just so I came in and I said, I got to eat healthy today. I'm just going to get a grilled chicken Caesar wrap, and I'm not drinking today. And of course, what happens?
How'd that shrimp scampi?
I order that, and I order the wings.
He wants the wings and the shrimp scampi. And what gets placed next to me? All this stuff.
Yeah, I'm not a good influence.
A little Jack and Coke. And
I'm not coming to Shenanigans and not getting this.
That's funny. Have you seen the marketing for Jack and Coke? They're actually like all over.
Really?
Promoting on all the NFL
network. Just like my standard drink.
NFL Network. They're really,
it must be working.
Well, the craft bourbons kind of have left them by the wayside,
Oh, really?
And it's if you turn on a country song between Budweiser and Jack Daniels, it's still big, but they were scared that Brown-Forman is a huge corporation, and it's a very palatable, good,
it's a standard drink.
It's a good drink, very, very much so.
Lubie, can I get you some meatloaf? Because this is outstanding. Ooh. The Monday meatloaf here.
That's Mama's recipe.
And I'm going to actually try to get a bite of the healthier
Let's not lose
choice.
our heads. Let's take that home. Yeah, take that wrap off.
That's disgusting that you got to wrap. Look at
This is like,
But I needed a little.
I just love that we have all this and then a wrap. Yeah, I get what
and
Pat's
of course,
saying.
the first thing I have is shrimps scampi pizza.
Would you do
Then I
me a
have the
favor? I
wing.
want to have a short rib. I want to have short rib Benedict, and I want the holiday. I want holidays on the side. I want the holiday. Can you put it on the side? Why? Because I'm going to throw it on there anyway.
Well, all the food here is great. Whether you
Thank
get the
you.
wings, the
Thank you.
sandwiches, of course, you pride yourself.
Oh,
on
and
the
we're
fish.
open Christmas Eve. We have
That's
a
what I
hell of a
wanted to ask.
lineup. My staff is really, really wonderful, and we have a 4:25 kickoff against the Cowboys. So anybody who's out, we're gonna have a prime rib special.
Oh, good.
We're gonna have both the sandwich
and
the
a
entree,
plate.
yes,
Yep.
and the plate. It's for people that want to get out, and we're gonna have a 4:25 kickoff, and we're gonna.
So
try
you'll
to
be
cheer.
open until the end of the football.
Until everybody makes a run for home. Les is single, and he'll keep it open Christmas
That's the
Eve. We'll be
nighttime
closed.
manager.
We'll be closed Christmas Day. But if you're out there and you're out and about, and you're like, hey, you know what? I want something a little different, and we can accommodate a lot of people. Big parties also.
So
Come on out to Shenanigans.
Another thing a
Christmas
lot
Eve.
of people are asking is places that are open that aren't
Christmas Eve,
necessarily
yeah.
just Chinese
Yep.
Asian
Right.
restaurants
Yep.
on
Right.
Christmas Eve. So
Oh, and we
Shenanigans-
also have music playing afterwards and after the game, and we kick it up a notch. We have a little fun.
excellent. And obviously New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. You're
Oh,
open.
yeah.
Lots of football.
Oh,
on
my
tap.
God.
But
What a
where's you wanna
lineup.
be,
What
yeah.
a lineup.
What
Huh?
place you want to be? The playoffs this year are actually on New Year's Day, which is freaking smart. So they should get lots of eyeballs.
Anytime that somebody wants to
mine.
make a reference to
Yeah,
the
look at mine
Dolphins and the situation, my heart actually went out for our New York brothers up there that came down.
Give me a
That was, they weren't as vocal as usual, but they went in with that veteran Aaron Rodgers, and that just didn't work out. We grew this kid from within. We have
Are
a
you kidding me?
nice offense.
You're being way too kind. Did you take like some ecstasy or something? Because you're like in this Molly.
I took about 6 mollies. Yeah. No.
You're in this like loving, forgiving.
Well,
I'm from Brooklyn. Let me tell you
oh,
something.
so you want to do that Jets?
No, the Jets fans are insufferable every year. They're
Yeah, they were
delusional.
there.
They take better and stronger stuff than Defo and I. Because
You know what's funny though? You know what's funny? I used to go around in here and everybody, New York's the greatest place in the world. I'm from New York. They got the Met. They got Manhattan. They have this. Since COVID, they're like, do you know if there's any good neighborhoods where there's anything reasonable here in South Florida? I never hear that anymore.
Yeah.
I don't see anybody
New York,
coming here.
It's my hometown. I
Yeah.
still love it there.
Yeah.
But
great.
those sports teams and sports fans can be a little bit insufferable. And the Jets fans, every year they think this is the year we're going to the Super Bowl. I guess the Dolphins fans are the same
Yeah.
way.
Oh, yeah.
But,
We are.
with the Jets fans, you can actually tell them at the beginning, like, all right, maybe Aaron Rodgers is going to be your answer, but let's look at history. It's probably not going to work out. Sure enough, 3 snaps in, down. And, they had a little bit of hope, had some games, but yesterday was a beatdown.
Oh, yeah.
So how can they say, oh, peep?
I stayed to the very end.
I'm sure you
stayed
would.
to the
That was
last
amazing.
minute.
Even if
I
it's
said,
raining.
what's the point? No, it was gorgeous.
Oh, yeah, it
beautiful.
cleared up in the middle of the day.
Yeah, it was middle of the day. It was cool air blew in. It was just nice to be a South
It
Floridian.
was a great day to
and
be
the
a Dolphin
complex
fan.
said, listen, Ross, you can say what you want about him. They made a lot of bad moves with personnel, but I'm a big fan of this McDaniel. I think he's a quirky, fun genius. He's a savant, and I love the creation. They keep saying, oh, he doesn't do this, he doesn't do that. I don't know. I think he's the new wave of coaches. I think
Look,
he's
these last
really
3
good.
games,
Yeah.
if they knock off the Ravens, if they win these last 3 games out, they're in a pretty good position to actually get the number 1 seed, depending on what KC does. Because
Hey, Buffalo ran through 15 passes yesterday.
Right.
They just ran the ball down their throat, and they wore out. Whoever expected to see that at Cowboys?
But
they
that's
had
what
the
you're
herald
supposed to do in Buffalo in December when it's cold and nasty, and that's what they are usually built for. That, even though now with their
poor Trevor Lawrence is on concussion protocol right now.
He looked like he
got smashed last night,
fumbling and
Oh
bumbling.
my! Ravens got after him.
Hey, it's time for our tiebreaker.
Yeah, we got
to do the contest.
Oh, okay.
And Pat, I love when we do it here.
Okay.
This is the first time in a while.
So am I supposed to pick that girl that
Wait.
you know again?
Well, let me give the setup because it was a weird weekend, weird contest. All right.
Okay.
First of all, the answer, and let me see if you know it. You remember in Aventura, there was a famous kind of health food vegetarian complex that had a restaurant that was very good and a market. in Aventura that was there for a while.
Moe's?
No, it wasn't Moe's. That's a deli.
The pastrami.
And I said it's not a mythical creature, and it actually existed.
Well, I go to that.
Let's see. I guess you never went there.
You know,
it was good. But
is it still there?
Built a Whole Foods in 1995. So
I know where you're talking about. It was it had Mediterranean flair.
Well, the name of it, it's no rainbows and not a mythical creature. That's part of the clue. Unicorn Village. It was a magical unicorn.
Well, you used to go to a place called in Unicorn down in Coconut many years ago, and it whole. Why are you asking this question? What if it doesn't exist anymore? To do that. We're not allowed to do only current places.
Blends a little bit of old and bygone with new, and that way it keeps people honest. And there's always the Google machine for people
I
who
look
don't
like
remember.
that would know where a health food? Do I? They named the unicorn.
When I said I was in there one time, I lied. I drove it.
You've changed on your game, Mr. Petrodatus.
Yeah, he's good. I'm bad. I didn't even get into my weekend eating yet. All right, so here's what happened. 26 people got the right restaurant at Unicorn Village.
Nice.
Right. That means we go to the Gulfstream contest race, which was the 2-mile Alan Jerkins scheduled for the turf on Saturday, the 11th race.
Love it.
Lo and behold, what happened? Not only did the boat parade get canceled, but Gulfstream Park's final 3 races got canceled because the monsoon blew in.
Yeah.
That means, you know what that means? Everybody who had Unicorn Village advanced to the final tiebreaker, which
26 names in the hat.
There's another tiebreaker we added to prevent that kind of thing.
What did you do?
So everybody who picked any horse advanced to picking the winner of the Jets-Dolphins game and the winning margin. And you know who ended up coming closest, Lubie?
No idea.
Me, because when I put out the clues on Friday,
why would you?
It's
you're
not fair. You're a
to
sports genius anyway.
You're
a sports writer.
Very facetiously, every week I put in like to give an example of like say Dolphins winning, pick the winning margin and the winning.
You
team.
did a stupid ass number.
30 points. I said Dolphins by 34, and then I did dash as if, and lo and behold,
yes,
I was the closest one, but I'm not allowed to win the contest.
Yes.
What I was shocked about is of the 26 who advanced, there was about like 6 or 7 that picked the Mets, New Yorkers, and then the other like 19. All of them had the Dolphins winning by between like 3 and 10 points.
Come on.
3,
Wilson?
8, 9, a lot of 10s, and only 2 people.
We lost, and we had a lot of injuries too.
Only 2 people went higher than 10 points, and they both picked the same margin, 13 points.
All right, where's that pretty girl you told me to pull out of there?
Congratulations. Amber Collins
that's her.
and Phil Levinson, both non-winners. They're looking for their first win. And I think Amber might be a first-time participant. It's a name I don't recognize. So Amber and Paul Levinson are in. And I've got the little phenol or acid tablets here in the hat, and I'm shaking them up. And Pat is picking one of them, and he's opening it up, and the winning name is...
You wouldn't think, but it is Miss Amber Collins. Sorry, Mr. Levinson.
He has a knack for picking the ladies.
I hope you're doing well in the jewelry exchange, but Amber Collins is out.
Amber Collins, congratulations. You are the winner.
No fix.
Of this
I was just teasing.
Gulfstream 10 Palms Sunday brunch contest. You and a guest will win a all expenses paid Sunday brunch for 2 at their fabulous buffet that includes 1 mimosa each.
Nice.
And tax and gratuity are included, which makes all those Let's Eat people happy because they get to the math and the gratuities and the charges for extra additional drinks. Make sure you tip accordingly on that because that will, not cover by the contest, but
a great time.
They're gonna have a great time.
I have a funny suspicion anyone named Amber is going to have a great party. I can only visualize. Get out there, have a great time, bring your date, enjoy, and courtesy of our guys here.
Speaking of a great time in Gulfstream, yesterday I went out. Joe Beja is doing a great job out there.
What a great guy.
And he's been tasked now. He's done such a good job of doing these like seasonal, what they call taste of the tracks. He started off with like burgers and beer and barbecue and bourbon.
Sandwiches.
No, he's got some good stuff.
He goes.
No, I know.
He did tequila and tacos, very popular. He started off with the 3 of them, and now his bosses say, "Oh, this is going so well. Why don't you do one of these like every month?"
Nice.
So
nice for us.
He scrambled for the holidays.
Nice for Joe.
He came up with a holiday theme. He called it a holiday party, a taste of the track yesterday.
Yes.
And it was a really beautiful setup.
Joe's a talented guy.
He does a great job.
He did all these carveries. He had like a pork loin with really good different accoutrements like pickled onions and some mojo garlic sauce. He had the ham with the pineapple. He had the turkey with all kinds of nice, gravy. And then he did something which I haven't seen. It was ambitious, and I thought it came out great. Instead of like a beef Wellington, he did a salmon en croûte. It's a similar thing where puff pastry stuffed with salmon. They bake it, slice it, and have a little bit of the hollandaise sauce. And he had some asparagus with that. All his side dishes were great. His
Shout out to Joe Bisha, one of my guys. I love him.
And drink-wise, it was the holiday theme. He had the eggnog going. He had coquito, and the coquitos there because he has a chef that was from Puerto Rico with the recipe. Unbelievably good. I could have drank that.
I actually had empanadas at the game that were delicious.
Right,
nice. Sandwich, and we have to welcome our Spanish brethren here in South Florida. It's I think 70%. But I'll tell you something. That's great that he came up with that diverse menu.
I don't like eggnog, but I love coquito.
You threw Jack Daniels in it. That's why you like it. Yeah, you threw a bottle.
No, the coquito has rum.
The Evan Williams.
And it's not as thick as eggnog, but it has all the great spice.
Well, of course, you had 50-50.
And but he also had things like something called a screwball, which is like eggnog with peanut butter flavoring.
Yeah, that's the one I was talking about.
He also had all the like chocolate espresso martinis. He had a chocolate old fashioned. It was a very kind of like sweet kind of drink thing, which I'm not usually the biggest sweet drink fan, but man, those coquitos were good. I downed about like 3 of them.
I love coquitos.
Before moving on to my next stop, but I just want to give props to Joe Beja and all the crew at Gulfstream are just killing it there. They're really doing a nice job.
What a beautiful place. If you haven't been there, and the carousel's gorgeous, and I'll tell you something, they moved our girl Christine Lee down there, and I'll tell you the truth, she still has the following of the devout old timers. The real gamblers go down there.
It triggers a story. I'm walking into the track on Friday, I think it was Friday. Yeah, when we were doing our show there, and there's a guy who's on his phone talking to a friend. Says, "Yeah, I think we're gonna." Let's meet at Christine Lee's. I've never been there. And then he hangs up the phone. And I couldn't help myself, Lubie. You know what I said? I was like,
you got to go.
Get the ribs. It's the best spare ribs in South Florida. And
I'll tell you, they don't shirk on
thanks.
They don't shirk on that New York strip with the Chinese
vegetables. And again, for a steak, like they do. Their lamb chops are among
good meat program there too.
Yeah. And
depends if I'm winning or not.
It's Mary Lee.
But winning, it's lamb chops in New York strip. If not, it's wonton soup and those ribs.
And Defo loves the wings and the oyster sauce, which are pretty darn good too. But we've got our own good, crispy, beautiful wings, the lemon pepper wings. Have you noticed, Pat, that I've eaten everything except the healthy wrap?
I was going to say, you haven't had the wrap.
Take that home.
I'm taking it home.
Eat that tonight.
Hey, we got to do a little bit of business. We got to talk about, it's a Tropical Acres Monday on the program.
What a
and
place.
We love supporting our locals like Shenanigans here.
Look at that cool neon on Griffin Road in US 1.
That is the coolest thing.
And
is a landmark.
Just make a left and keep going.
And you just go for 2 miles, and then boom, lo and behold, you'll see the paradise of Mecca of old school Florida.
Yep.
Since 1949, it's going to be the greatest place to spend the holiday season. I know a bunch of friends who are going to be going there in the upcoming weeks. I'm going to be going there with my friend Dr. Tranicus.
Nice.
Next Tuesday. And
Name dropper.
He's one of the best cancer surgeons in all of Fort Lauderdale. Helped save my mother's life.
Yep.
And he had a pig roast yesterday at his house. It was supposed to be for the boat parade. Once the boat parade got canceled, he pushed back the pig roast to yesterday, and I got a late invite. I was very happy.
You were a fill-in.
Yeah, I was a fill-in. I'm not ashamed to go take that spot.
I'll come out. That's a nice thing.
This is what I did. I went from Gulfstream's holiday party, eating there.
This is why you've fallen into the abyss of eating.
I'm eating
the way he eats is ridiculous.
Shrimp
right
pizza.
To the pig roast, then right to Michelle's house for a beef bourguignon dinner with my daughter, and then right to a grand opening of a new Mediterranean restaurant in Las Olas. Our friend Frankie Talarico had a little hummus and a little baklava.
Oh, God, man.
It's crazy, Pat. I need an intervention.
That's why they call it your New Year resolution every year.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but
January 1st.
The Visit Lauderdale Food Festival.
Yeah, it's really going to be February when his starts.
But there's a number for degenerates 1-888 admitted. What's the number for foodaholics?
I don't know. I saw Oprah. I'm the bad person to say that because I keep running into all the guys my age, and I've been working out, so my knees are killing me. I've been trying to do it the traditional way, and I just see all these people that are getting these injections of this.
Oprah admitted it.
Oh yeah, of course she did. She looked the best I ever saw.
She's on Ozempic, and I say that's cheating. I say I'm just going to do it.
I'm just going to gain weight.
Listen. At this point, when you're on the highway to hell, you just keep going. You keep the pedal to the metal. You just keep eating until you finally look over and you say, "What was the name that drug again? That injection?"
Oh, Ozempic.
Because everybody's miserable once they go on.
Oh yeah, because they get nauseous.
Oh yeah,
and I don't got time for that, especially if you're going to go over to Tropical Acres. Tonight, half price wine night.
It is.
Monday, Tuesday, you get a beautiful bottle of wine, less than you get it in some of the discount liquor stores. It's unbelievable. And they got a good quality wine list over there, Pat.
Don't be afraid of their seafood, too. Their crab stuffing and everything. I know some people don't like steaks.
They make a really nice seafood pasta.
They make a really nice seafood deal there.
And for me, it's all about the meats. I love the prime rib. I love the filet mignon. And I love the rack of lamb that they have there. Those are my choices when I go, but my first choice is go in there on a Monday, Tuesday, get the half price wine. First of all, stop off at the bar for happy hour. That's from 4:30 to 6:30.
Very cool bar
every weekday from Monday through Friday. And of course, you've got the holidays coming up. I don't know if they're fully booked for Christmas yet. Open 1 to 8 p.m. Give them a call for reservations, 954-989-2500. We love Tropical Acres. They've been doing it the right way. The Studiali family, they will take great care of you. Or again, for great value, great service, and great food. Go to Tropical Acres and tell them the Lunchbox sent you.
This is Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. We're going to have more football and food fun and conversation with the one and only Patrick Utter here
at
Shenanigan Sports Bar. Coming up, more Mike Mayo's Lunchbox after this.
More Lipitor, please. At Meisner Park in Boca Raton, located at 404 Plaza Real. Since 1991, delicious modern American cuisine in a stylish yet casual setting. The outdoor patio and lively bar is the place to see and be seen at Meisner. It also features a sushi bar and a dry-aged steak program. Don't miss their long-term signature dishes like radiatore pasta and bacon-wrapped meatloaf. So good. Open daily with live music Wednesday through Saturday evenings and a great weekend brunch. For reservations and more information, go to maxsgrill.com. Food from a scratch kitchen, delicious drinks and house-made spirits from a craft bar, a great vibe inside and out with a spacious patio. I'm talking about Batch New Southern Kitchen and Tap, Fort Lauderdale, in the heart of the city at 525 North Federal Highway. It's open 7 days for lunch, dinner, and weekend brunch with classics like fried chicken and waffles and shrimp and grits, and creative items like pecan-crusted salmon and a fried green tomato BLT. And the drinks? Smooth sipping and so good. There's convenient free parking and a garage next door, happy hour at the bar, an entire patio, 4 to 7 Monday to Friday, and live music every Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. It's pet and people friendly and with cozy fire pits for when the temperature dips. For reservations and more information, go to batchsouthernkitchen.com. Hey, it's Mayo here for Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market. Since 1951, family owned for over 70 years, the home of freshness. I've been a customer for over 3 decades, and it's the place to go for poultry, steaks, meats, and of course, their unbelievable selection of fish and seafood. They've got it all. Key West pink shrimp, grouper, snapper, lobster, and of course, Florida stone crab claws of all sizes. Don't forget their famous fish dip and a full selection of prepared foods. It's located at 4191 North State Road 7 in Hollywood, just across from the Seminole Classic Casino. Owner Doug Carter and crew will take great care of you. Make sure to check out their weekly specials and daily catch online at DelawareChicken.com. Quality, value, freshness, that's the Delaware way. Tell them Mike Mayo and the Lunchbox sent you. If you like seafood in a comfortable setting, outdoors, even keel fish shack at the corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea. That's my spot. It's upscale food in a down-home setting. The chef owners, Dave and Brad, do a terrific job with all the seafood classics that you want. They have the best grilled oysters in town, bang bang shrimp, lobster rolls, and deli fish specials. They also have weekend brunch Saturday and Sunday. They have deli happy hour 4 to 7, and they also have other weekly specials like mussels on Monday and oysters on Tuesday. Go to Even Keel Fish Shack and tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. Great Italian food in a beautiful beachfront setting. Have I got the place for you? Casa Calabria at the Ocean Manor Resort, 4040 Galt Ocean Drive in Fort Lauderdale. Highly rated across all the restaurant review platforms and totally Mike Mayo's Lunchbox approved. Delicious, authentic Southern Italian food in a cozy dining room overlooking the Atlantic. Live music in the lounge, full bar, and a great wine list. Owner Frank Talrico takes great pride in his family recipes from his native Calabria. Fresh fish and seafood, veal, house-made pastas, and marinara sauces smooth as silk. You gotta try the imported meats and cheeses on the antipasta platters, and don't miss that ricotta gnocchi. Fluffy little pillows straight from heaven. Casa Calabria, open for dinner Tuesday through Sunday, closed on Mondays. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. Hey, it's Mike Mayo. When the Brooklyn boy in me wants a good bagel with Nova, or some matzo ball soup, homemade knishes, or a great deli pastrami sandwich on rye, you know where I go? Grandpa's Cafe in Dania Beach. It's been around a long time, an institution, but a little over a year ago, a pair of New Yorkers came in, bought it, and refurbished the place. It's beautiful, and they are now serving great breakfast, brunch, lunch. They've got the omelets. They've got eggs Benedict. They've got all kinds of great baked goods like rugelach. Grandpa's is just off Federal Highway on Southwest 1st Street in Dania Beach. It's open 7 days. Go in there, tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. We're back on the Lunchbox. Again, I'm surrounded by all my friends at the holidays. Got the tree. It's better than the Charlie Brown tree. I have not seen, it is one of my annual traditions. I don't know if you have any in terms of viewing.
Okay, so it used to be
Charlie Brown Christmas.
See, that I never got into that. And it's not that it's before my time, because I watched
a
lot of
morose.
Things.
That's what I like about it.
I didn't like that they treated him that poorly. I thought what's her name was a scumbag.
Lucy?
And I couldn't stand it, and I never understood why. And the one kept having the flies all the time. I'm like, you can be dirty, but that's a weird thing. Why are the flies always there? And then her being a total ass, you're allowed to say ass. Her being a total ass. And no one stopped, and they just let her, but they keep hanging. I'm like, if someone's that much of a jerk, why would you keep hanging out with her? Like, I never understood that, and I thought too much about it, obviously. So I never got into that. The thing that used to be the tradition, and my wife has ruined it because she won't watch anything quote unquote older, was It's a Wonderful Life. That was literally every year was my dad, and my dad would always watch it. We would always watch it. I cry every time. I get chills every time. And I haven't watched it in 6 years because my wife
to
won't
watch
do
something
it.
in black and white. Didn't they colorize it or something?
I don't care if it's black and white or color. It's
Jimmy Stewart.
That's great. It's a Wonderful Life. Great. I don't care.
Yeah.
And it's great, and it holds up. Like, yeah, they don't have cell phones, but like just the message itself.
Again, everybody can relate.
Well.
Economic despair, bankruptcy,
stressed
thoughts
out,
of
losing
offing
it.
yourself, taking a
this
long
time
walk
of the year,
off a short pier.
I mean,
things that the things that Defoe struggles with almost every week. No, that's a universal. What's wrong with her? I mean, you gotta sit her down and say, get off the TikTok for a second. Get off the phone for a second. Just sit your ass down and watch an actual movie for an hour.
Yeah,
That's a short one,
it's
too.
not that long.
It's not one of these 3.5 hour opuses that they keep releasing.
I mean, I just sat down with her for 3.5 hours and watched the Taylor Swift concert on my TV.
Right.
Like, they made it a movie, and now they're charging people a ridiculous amount of money to then watch it at their home. Right. And I did that. So there's no reason why she can't do. Yes, I will at some point make her watch it. But
at some point, you got to just say,
yeah, it's great. It's a great movie. I love that movie. So anyways, that was our tradition, viewing wise, outside of, sports, obviously.
And the, but I love some of those old cartoons, at the Charlie Brown Christmas.
Yeah.
What was some of the other ones? The Santa Claus is not that one.
Miracle on 34th
Frosty
Street.
the Snowman.
Frosty Snowman.
I'm talking about like the
cartoons,
60s,
yeah.
the 1960s.
I love that Frosty
cartoons.
the Snowman. That one's great. The old school
Frosty
one.
the Snowman and Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Yeah.
And all of that to me is my Christmas viewing tradition. I know that Natalia's mom, she just falls into that Hallmark Christmas movie trap.
My wife
starting
and I,
in November, she just like watches it nonstop. I was like, how could you watch this treacle? It's like, let me guess what happens.
That's the problem and it used to just be Hallmark. Now be Netflix, Amazon, Hulu, all have holiday sections. And their movies are a little bit better standard than the Hallmarks, but it's the same thing. And you know the storyline. It's some woman who has to go to some town, and then she meets some guy, and then she hates him.
Right.
But then they fall in love, and they save the town together.
Right. And one's a little country bumpkin, and the other one is the big city slicker. And they're never gonna. How could they ever get along? And
I've watched a lot of those.
Roll filled with happy endings. We do like
there
that.
You go. I do like that.
So, what else do I have on my list? Oh, I got some stuff from the weekend.
Okay.
Well, not the weekend. Actually, on Let's Eat this morning, it was one of those posts that both jarred me and filled me with holiday joy. A woman was looking for a place where she could find where they could slaughter a goat, and she could pick up a slaughtered goat.
Oh, Jesus. You said it just like that, like on the thing?
Yeah.
She didn't just say, does anyone have goats? She said,
tagged you and Defo on
that
string because I wanted you to just, the way she just matter-of-factly. And then I loved it because, some people do the roast pig, and I went to a pig roast yesterday where somebody else slaughters the pig, and you pick up the whole pig and you grill it, or you have that whole contraption and you put it on better charcoals. I guess it's the same thing with the goat. Some families, particularly those of maybe Greek and Turkish descent, but they will go to some of these farms and they will again pick up
go on a spigot.
Yeah, and they put it on like a rotisserie, a spit, and they rotate it over a bed of coals. But it's one of those things that some people, it's their holiday tradition.
Goat.
So, but this is what I love the group. The first 10 comments, like there was actually 3 recommendations for farms. Cabrera Farms up in Okeechobee will apparently slaughter any kind of animal they have on their farm. I don't think you bring them a live goat. I think they have goats that they raise. And then some people like saying, some people are making these like comments of like, oh, how could you? And then the woman shot back like, well, I just looked at your profile and some of your posts, and you've been talking about burgers and meat. It's like,
what's the difference?
If you're not a vegan, like unless you're a pure,
vegan, really,
vegan, one of those
vegetarians still partake in animal flesh. It's the same difference.
One of the
what they do to get eggs is not nice to the chickens. I'll tell you that. And what they do to get milk.
What they do to get stone crabs is not nice to the stone crab.
Yeah,
I mean, they take one claw and then they put them back in and they generate.
Even the stuff that we keep the animal alive, it's like the milking farms is not sweet, cuddly care of a cow. So there's no room to talk, honestly, especially on that site. I mean, and that's fine. I wasn't judging her. I just thought it was funny that she asked for goat. That she said, "Does anyone know where they slaughter goats?" That's very direct.
I loved it, and again, I said it both. It filled me with holiday joy.
I love that.
I said this is the kind of post on the group that exactly why we created it.
Yep.
And the woman who was making the ask stood up for herself and said, I think it's time. I come from a tradition where we would, my ancestors, my grandparents would go out and actually slaughter the goat and like get in touch with your food of where it comes from. And how, you get a connection with your food. And it's part of the whole, I guess, natural order of things. I mean, animals eat animals and it's the whole food chain thing. And, it's
look, there's no right or wrong, but the reality is if you're going to eat the food, you should have the cojones to actually go and kill it. That's the thing about a person like me, where I'm a blatant hypocrite,
right?
Is I have a dog who is an animal. I have a cat, and I treat them like literally human beings. I will openly own that. And I eat any kind of meat on demand, and I would be the first to not kill it. So it's like, okay, I don't have the courage to do it, But I'm still going to eat the thing. Like, what's the, like that's not better.
And serve it to me bloody and rare, and I'll eat it. But
that's more being hypocritical, to be really honest.
I don't want to finish the job. I don't want to put the whatever they do, the steel bolt into that. Well, you know what? Let's not talk about these realities. But no, you know what? It's time to talk about more happy things, such as the Visit Lauderdale Food and Wine Festival.
That's fantastic.
It's coming up. We've been making the rounds and talking to different people who are going to be taking part. It's going to be a great week of eating and drinking and
being merry.
Camaraderie. Yeah, camaraderie. It's January 8th through the 14th. It all begins with some of the great the intimate dinners, which sold out one at Heritage, but the following night is still availability for the one that Tim and Baloo is holding at the Catherine. Go online to vlfoodwine.com, and there's going to be these interactive classes, things with, authors and cookbooks. You get your cookbook signed. You could go in and learn how to make different items. I know that we spoke with we're going to be talking with Jason Smith, who is
nice.
He has a cookbook out. He's going to be taking part in one of those seminars, and then also he's going to be taking part in the grand tasting and doing a big cooking demonstration again with Nancy Fuller, who's going to be all these things. VLFoodWine.com, and don't forget the big 4 events, which is bar fight on Wednesday night, the new Asian theme walk and roll event Thursday night, the barbecue poolside battle on Friday night downtown Fort Lauderdale, and then the big main event, the grand tasting Saturday, January 13th at Los Olas Riverside Park. When you put in the promo code Lunchbox for those big 4 events, you'll get an extra 15% off the already low savings. It's for a great stocking.
It's a great gift
for the food lover in your life. Go online once again, check out the full schedule and get your tickets now. They are going fast. VLFoodWine.com.
When we come back, we wrap up today's edition of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. We are live at Shenanigan's Sports Pub. It is sports season wheelhouse. Yes, it's there. Devo and I talk about it all the time. Is it the fall? Is it the winter? Is it the spring is your favorite time? Well, right now you have everything going on outside of baseball. It's in full swing. The Dolphins are competitive and in a playoff hunt. The Bulls are here. No better place, especially in southern South Florida or north southern, wherever the hell we are, than Shenanigan Sports Pub, Miami, Broward, Palm Beach, right here. Shenanigan Sports Pub will take care of you. And we'll take care of more food discussion right after this on Mike Mayo's Lunchbox live from Shenanigan Sports Pub here in Dania Beach.
For Gilbert's 17th Street Grill, you know me. I love family-run places with quality food at fair prices served with passion and pride. And that's why I love Gilbert's. For more than a decade, Lenore, Beth, and Richie Gilbert have been serving up the best burgers, wings, ribs, salads, and desserts. It's a fast casual spot. Everything prepared fresh to order from an immaculate open kitchen. They're at 1821 Cordova Road in Fort Lauderdale in the Cordova Shops just south of 17th Street. Open every day but Sunday. One of my favorite burgers in South Florida. Big, round, juicy pucks of 100% Angus beef, char grilled to perfection. And don't miss the sweet potato fries on the side. They're legendary. Go to Gilbert's, feast, and be happy. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. When I'm looking for some wicked good food for a wicked good lunch, there's only one place to go. That's Wicked Cheesesteaks in Fort Lauderdale. It's at 4824 North Federal Highway, just south of Commercial Boulevard and across from Holy Cross Hospital. My friend Brian there, he will hook you up with some really tasty treats. They've got cheesesteaks, just like the best you can find in Philly, along with lobster rolls, because that's where he's from, Maine originally. And they have wings and pizza and everything you want to have a really good time. Wicked Cheesesteaks, they're open every day but Tuesday. Check them out online, wickedcheesesteaks.com. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. If you're looking for a great place for steaks, seafood, and more, go to Tropical Acres Steakhouse and Butcher Shop. It's at 2500 Griffin Road in Dania, just west of I-95 and the airport. They've been there a long time, since 1949. That means they're doing something right. You'll get old school hospitality from the Studiali family, along with great value, tremendous service. Of course, you could also go into the bar for happy hour every day, 4 to 6. The early bird special runs from 4:30 to 5:30, and they have great value all night long. Also, a butcher shop that's open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. except Sunday. The dining room is open every day at 4:30 except Sunday. Go to Tropical Acres. Tell them the Lunchbox sent to me and say, Mike, where should I go out to eat? I got guests coming from out of town. Where should we go? Cafe Seville. That's the answer. 2768 East Oakland Park Boulevard. It's a Fort Lauderdale perennial, serving the finest in Spanish and continental cuisine in a cozy, friendly, comfortable setting. Joey Esposito and Sally, his better half, they've been running the place for a long time. It's been open since the 1980s. They got great Spanish classics like paella, shrimp with garlic sauce, and all kinds of great seafood dishes. The stuffed veal chop, oh, that's my favorite. Go to Cafe Seville. It's open every day but Sunday at 5 p.m. for dinner. Tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. Do you like burgers? Do you like wings? Do you like late night food and sports on big screen TVs and cold beer and friendly vibe and great people? Then you want to check out Shenanigans, 1300 South Federal Highway in Dania Beach. Go to Shenanigans, you get yourself all the good stuff, the fresh fish every day, the black and grilled wings, and of course the kitchens are open late. Go there, tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. All right, we're back at Shenanigans, and we're going to wrap up this Monday edition. We went football heavy because it is a sports pub. And speaking of heavy, that's me. Pat said I should take my grilled chicken Caesar wrap home. I couldn't resist. I ate half of it. It's so good. This is a really good item.
If you're taking it home, I actually would rather not take healthier food from you.
No, I mean, but this is an item that my daughter turned me on to. When we come here, when we come here together for a little dad and daughter dinner, sometimes she loves this grilled chicken Caesar wrap, and nice. I need some greens, and it's all wrapped up in a nice package. So that's all good stuff. Lubie, it's a big week coming up. We're heading into, we're 7 days away from Christmas.
We are a week away.
People are a little bit frantic getting their shopping done. We're frantic because we're going to be stuffing our stockings with all kinds of goodies, including shows for next week.
Yes.
But just to give everybody a rundown, come on out if you want to join us at one of these remotes.
Yeah, we'll be out and about this week.
Tomorrow we're going to be at Max's Grill up in Boca Raton at Meisner Park, one of the Rappaport restaurant groups that we are so proud to be associated with. That's going to be a lot of fun. And again, Rappaport restaurant groups, all their his restaurants, the four of them, five of them really, but it's Max's Grill. And then up in Delray, it's Deck 84 on the Intercoastal, along with Burt and Max's out west in the Delray Marketplace. And then, of course, there's the two Prezzos, one in Palm Beach Gardens, one in Boca Raton. All of them will be open all throughout the holidays. If you got guests in town, great places to go. Check them all out. They've got really family-friendly deals, and all of them are going to be open both Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, the whole gamut. Go check out Rappaport Restaurant Groups, and we'll be happy to be there tomorrow. Wednesday, we go to Grandpa's because, hey, even though Hanukkah has passed, it's never...
I'm still eating latkes, by the way, so it's still Hanukkah in my heart.
And to
my
me,
stomach.
I think deli when I think the approaching Festivus holiday, which is, of course, made famous by Seinfeld.
Yep.
And, I think you could go in there. Don't complain to them, but you could get a bunch of friends around and just air your grievances together over some beautiful pastrami sandwiches or the bagels with lox and cream cheese. That's Wednesday. Thursday, we're at Gilbert's.
Yep.
And that is, again, a favored stop with not just burgers, but everything they do there is really good. They got also
the fish they do really well, the poultry they do really well.
So we're going to see Lenore and son Richie and daughter Beth. That'll be Thursday. Friday back at Gulfstream Park for another great, fabulous.
One and next week we're getting back to Casa Calabria
on Thursday
with our dear friend Frankie Tallarico and Chef Saul, who does a really good job. But they also now, Frankie, as I joke every time because he is literally a restaurateur, entrepreneur. Whatever you said a hotel person was, hotelier, hotel magnate. Yep. He has another place now. He never stops.
He always keeps me on my toes because all of a sudden I got a text yesterday with a little flyer saying, "Hey, Mike, come on out. I'm opening a new restaurant tonight." I said, "What?" Well, it turns out it's part of that whole Piazza Italia complex that he has on Las Olas. There was a room that he was trying to do like a formal dining room area, and that didn't really take off. So now what has happened is he has some friends. It's a family that came from Syria about 10 years ago, a mother and daughter. Their names are Zina and Lena. And the two of them are basically taken over that space, and Frankie in partnership with them. Right there on Las Olas. I believe it's 902 East Las Olas, and it's called Arabian Nights. So it's kind of a Mediterranean,
hookah, like
Middle
a lounge,
Eastern,
like a vibe.
Mediterranean, but they have like a dining room that's serving dinner from Wednesday through Sunday, and then they have an outer bar area and hookah lounge where you could, fire up the hookah.
Man, that's cool.
And I said, Frankie, brilliant, because as I look up and on the boulevard in Las Olas, there is no Mediterranean restaurant. I mean, there's a lot of Italian places, a lot of steakhouses and American places. I mean, you've got Indian restaurant now in Bombay Darbar. You've got you've got a Korean barbecue. So it only makes sense that the diversification on Las Olas continues. Yep. And of course, you got our friends Even Keel opened on Las Olas. But Frankie, good luck to him. Went in there last night, cool. And the daughter, Zena, will be joining us, I think, when we do our show at Casa Calabria to talk a little bit about this Arabian Nights and some of the baba ganoush and the hummus and all the spreads with the pita, the dips, and they got some main courses including the kebabs and platters, and then for dessert they have some great I guess they call it Arabic like tea service or coffee.
Middle Eastern tea is great.
Middle Eastern coffee and tea, and that baklava is delicious. Good stuff there I had last night. So best of luck to that crew. And
well, if you want to prepare any of those kinds of food, your routines, and before we go, Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market is a perfect place to go and get the things to make. They have their own dips actually that are fantastic. I've just finished up that fish dip.
The fish dip. So I'm in the planning stages now of the Feast of the Seven Fishes, Christmas Eve.
Yeah. That's
drawing up a list. My daughter wants shrimp cocktail.
That's this week, actually.
Yeah, it's coming out. Well, I mean, Christmas Eve is Sunday night.
Yeah, this is sweet.
And Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market is the place that I go every year to get all my holiday needs, especially for this Feast of the Seven Fishes, the stone crab, the shrimp, the scallops, the lobsters. What am I missing? Oh, the fish dip.
The fish
and
itself.
Some fish itself. And there, I think that's 7. You could, they've got over there, probably 20 different seafood items for that feast if you're celebrating on Christmas Eve. And then they've also got plenty of great stuff for Christmas Day itself, including hams and turkey and the capon and duck and all roasts. Roasts, meat, pork. It is a fantasy land for food lovers in there for the home cooks for the holiday entertaining. Delaware Chicken and Seafood is 4191 North State Road in Hollywood. They are open every day. Usually this year they're going to be closed as usual for Christmas Day, but they are having extended hours on Saturday and early opening on Sunday, Christmas Eve, closing early on Christmas Eve on Sunday. Call them up and get your orders in now. Again, Delaware, for over 60 years they've been going strong, and the holiday spirit continues there as it does here. I'm kind of out of gas today. I think I need some sleep.
Well, you made it to the thing. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I can't wait to see you all tomorrow. We'll be at Max's Grill in Boca Raton.
Until everybody, enjoy everything, including the chicken wrap, meatloaf, wings, pizza, the shrimp scampi. Thanks to Pat Utter and the whole crew at Shenanigans, and enjoy every sandwich.